So hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. Today we're going to have another Evercade video and we're going to be playing Awesome Golf from 1991. This is on the Atari Collection 1 and it's part of the Evercade Facebook non-official fans group. I never get the title right. But yeah, it's part of the high score challenge this month. So let's have a little look at it.
Let's play Awesome Golf.
Yeah, let's play Awesome Golf indeed. So this is kind of typical of some of the games back in the late 80s and early 90s. It's a top-down, simple golf game. So enter the clubhouse to enter your player name, etc. And we'll just leave them as they are. You can change your name. You can actually change the golfer type here, if you so wish, depending on what you want to do. Change the one, add wind, but I don't recommend doing that. It makes the game even harder than it probably already is. And here we go, let's get started. So, nicely all the sort of holes have hole names. So you see it's a typical sort of style. You can move the D-pad to have a look at the hole and what you're up against, which is a good idea to start. So you can see you'll get the flashing cursor here. You can hold down the B button to manoeuvre and aim somewhere. So you can see you've got 367 yards. So you press A to sort of start. I'll aim about there. Then choose whichever club you want to hit with. So we'll start with obviously using the 1 wood. And again, like most games, you hold down the button to power, then you try and stop it either side of the arrow there to make sure it hits straight ahead. Otherwise, you're hooking it or slicing it somewhere. So this is probably the tricky part, is judging your distances and judging the power bar here. Easier said than done, and see I've screwed up already, which generally can be disastrous, which you probably will find that you spend a lot of time in the bunker. Now if you're in the bunker, you'll probably most likely be as well just taking the sand wedge or taking maybe 9-8, 7-iron, because you'll probably only clear about 100 yards out at best, in which you'll see. So we'll maybe choose the 7-iron and see where we get to. Now already I'm up against it in this hole, so I've got it about fairly steady. And generally you can only clear about 100 yards out of there at best. Let's say 85, so we're already sort of scrambling for par here. So about 83 yards, so I would probably just pick the sort of pitch and wedge for here and don't quite hit it full distance. So that's the trickiest thing about Awesome Golf, is knowing your sort of yardage. And if you play golf in real life, then that would definitely help, but there's no guide in the game to tell you how far each club actually hits, so you generally have to sort of work that out, or there is some guide you can maybe try and find. I sort of generally pitch and wedge somewhere around 100 yards, sand wedge, keep to the sand. Closest probably hits less than a pitch and wedge. 9 is maybe about 110, 8 120 odd, 730, that kind of thing. 6 is about 150 yards, 5 is 160, 4 170, that kind of thing. I mean, you'll generally work it out which club to actually choose, and it does help to know some of that. But it's all about trying to get it on the nose on the button there. So that's okay, at least we're on the green. We're scrambling for par right enough. So we're on the green, and you can see we've got the cursor here and where to aim. You can see next to the ball there's a black line. Now that black line is pointing down the way, meaning there's a slope down the way, meaning we may have to hit it a little harder than normal. And you see it's sloping slightly, so it's almost straight on, so you might move the cursor to sort of directly opposite that, almost to where you want to hit the ball, and that's generally how the putting works. But it's not completely accurate for me, it's a little bit off, so you have to adjust it slightly. You might find you will probably hit the ball too hard quite often. So again, you just press A to sort of start, and you see you've got your power bar, and we've got 15 feet, so I think somewhere in the middle is probably about right to sort of pot it. So we're not playing snooker, we're playing golf. So I just missed, I was just a little bit short. So when you're close, very little of the sort of energy bar is required, or you will just completely clear the hole. So we've got a bogey, Humphrey Bogart style reference there. The Jolly Thresher. So each hole has a strange name. Now it's all about judging how high to hit it. So you don't go in the bunkers, go in the rough, because as soon as you hit the rough or the bunkers, you're already up against it, and you will never get a decent score. So if you can stay clear of those things, try and keep on the fairway, you're going to give yourself a fighting chance to get on the green in regulation and give yourself a birdie chance. So let me see, we'll get 183 yards. Generally somewhere between a 3 and a 1 iron, I would guess, but I don't want to leave myself too short, so I'll just maybe hit the one not quite up to the brim, and I've not quite hit that on the nail, but should maybe land on the green. Just, yeah, it's actually not too bad at all. So as you see, it's tricky to master. The aiming here is probably the toughest part. See, there's not much of a black line, so I wouldn't move too far either side here, just because it's not going to move too far. And I've missed it. That's it. Definitely the toughest thing in the game to master is that putting. If you can somehow manage the putting, then you will definitely score well. King's Arms. I've generally grown to actually quite like the game. Through a little bit of practice, you can get good. And this is very typical of a lot of the golf games back in the day, which I played quite a lot of, especially on the C64. And this one's pretty decent. If only maybe the putting was a little bit more accurate, it would be better. But all in all, it's a pretty good game. It's a pretty good golf game. Oops. So we're putting for birdie at least here. So it's pointing down the way. I'd maybe aim slightly to this way. Like I say, it's very difficult to judge. You can easily, oh geez, like I say, you think it's going to go that way and it doesn't work, which means the putting is way from accurate. So this is going to need just a very slight nudge to go in. So I think if you keep making your greens in regulation, then you get hang of the putting, then at minimum getting pars is definitely achievable. It's trying to get under that and get those birdies and get close enough to the hole to give yourself a chance. It's tricky. So we'll try to aim somewhere to the left of those two bunkers. Again, quite tricky. See, generally, it doesn't really matter what club you use there, you're really going nowhere. So 89 yards again, well let's get the pitch and wedge. So ideally we want to try and get close so we can try and at least make the par. Because already we're not making the green regulation, we're struggling. And that's not really close enough, it's going to give us a tricky putt. So again, line's pointing down the way, so I'm going to try and above the cup. Again, I don't think it's accurate, so it's very tough to gauge. That might be too hard. Oh, come on. Oh dear. The putt is the part that's probably going to kill people. It's just tricky as. Again, we've dropped another hole, another stroke there. So, hole number 5, spread eagle. Now this one's tricky. I think you're better off actually. None of the clubs seem to get past the rough after these bunkers here. You're better off trying to lay up short, somewhere just to the left of those bunkers. Otherwise, you're either in the bunker or you're in the rough. So let's see. Hopefully, I'll maybe try and get this right. Ooh. So that's about right. I'd say round about here is okay. I mean, this is a par 5 anyway, so you're never going to make great here. So it's all about trying to minimise and get as close as you can. Ooh. So that's a bit too close for comfort there. So 130 yards. So for that, it's most likely a 7 iron. 6 is going to take it too far. So let's see. That should be quite good, I think. Give ourselves a birdie chance maybe. Oh, that might just have been a club too much. It's not too bad. We've got a good birdie chance here. So, generally you try and think, just aim opposite to where the black line is pointing. Roughly. It's not accurate at all, the game, so let's see. I don't think I've hit that hard. Oh yeah! We have to. Tweet, tweet. So that's not bad. We've hauled one back. Probably about +1 for the round. And here we go, the blue pick. Ah, so this one, you really have to hit it perfectly to just get between that bunker or just after that bunker somewhere. But this one is tricky. If you don't hit it perfectly, you'll find yourself in the water easy, which I've done often. Oh no. Okay, just to prove a point here. Yeah, it's in the water. Darn. So, we're already up against it here in a par 4. It's a fairly long par 4. I think even if you hit it perfectly, you would always be struggling in this hole. So let's try and aim over this way a little bit. It's one of these games that it just punishes you if you don't get a perfect shot. Like I've just done another duff shot. It punishes you something awful. So I'm going to aim more this way, or I'm going to be in the bunker. So let's hit this. We need to at least minimum get out of the bunker. Get out of the rough. Sorry. So we're definitely looking at a bogey minimum here. So as you can see, it's very important to hit your greens and then hit your greens in regulation and give yourself a chance. So 6 yards, that's a pitching wedge, about half distance putting wedge. Oh, I didn't quite hit that perfectly either. Oh dear. So this hole I'm not covering myself in glory at all. Oh, I'm absolutely messing this up, something awful. So I'm already double bogey here, maybe triple bogey. Okay, so if you want to look at your scorecard, you can press the select button and it sort of tells you, gives you your scorecard. You can see we've already had a couple of bogeys, a birdie and a triple bogey at hole 6. Which gives us a grand total at the end. We're already at +4 over the score, which isn't bad. It's not great, obviously, but it's not bad. I think having played this game quite a lot, it does grow on you. And it does become quite fun, but it's tricky. It's memorising these holes, knowing where the best place to hit, and somehow magically getting this power button right in the centre like that. That's not bad. That should be a decent enough hit. Oh, I think we're just going to nudge the bunk. Oh, we're on the rough. Not perfect enough. It's not going to matter. It's a par 5, so we'll just hit it as far as we can. We should give ourselves a birdie chance, maybe. Got a big wide fairway to hit, so we should be okay. Give ourselves another 160 yards, 50 yards to go. Yeah, 150. So we've got a chance here. If we can just hit it straight. That's probably about a 6. It's getting to know which iron to use. That's probably another tricky point, is gauging the power button and which. So we've got ourselves a birdie chance here. I think you see the diagonal black line is pointing down the way, so it's downhill, meaning you can't hit this too hard at all. Yay, we have another birdie. We're pulling a couple back here. Yeah, if you're trying for the high score challenge, it's unbelievably difficult to try and get a consistent round without making mistakes. As you can see, it's tough, really tough. I've probably not had a round where I've made no mistakes at all. Oh, this is not looking good. Oh, I'm in the water. You can see it's very difficult to try to do a video and concentrate and hitting the button at the same time is tough. It needs utmost concentration. There's my birdie chance. So, minimal bogey looking here. Let's see. Oh well, that's not bad. That's, after being in the water, bogey's not bad. The Church Green, hole number 9. So I don't think this is going to be the best ever round I've had, that's for sure. It's by far from the worst. I think my first time playing it I was definitely into the sort of 90s. It's quite easy just to nudge to 100 as well. Oh, that's actually not bad. Oh, I'm in a tree. Basically just try to get it on the fairway to give yourself a chance. Generally from the rough bunker, 100 yards is about as best as you're going to get. So 119. I think we're maybe looking about an 8 or a 9. Let's try a 9. Should at least go on the green here. Yeah, that's not bad. That's all right. Ooh. See, I think the putting itself is inconsistent. You think that could go quite down the hill, but sometimes it doesn't go the way you think. You can see I've aimed quite far on because it was pointing downhill and it's nothing. Oh dear, that's so frustrating. Oh jeez. See, it didn't even move here even though it's pointing downhill. Massively disappointing and frustrating, the inconsistencies in the putting. And I've just 3-putted. It's quite possible. I think the worst hole I've done is probably doing a 5-putt. Just constantly hitting it past the hole. My favourite hole called the Bells of P-over or Put Over. I don't know how that one's pronounced, but that makes me chuckle immaturely. Okay, this is not a good hit. Oh, take it back. That's actually quite a good hit. Perfect even. Right. Give ourselves a tricky one here, because if we don't hit this perfect, we're looking at bunker. Let's use the 1 just to make sure we try and clear them at least. Oh. Oh, I've hit that way too hard. Right. See, I'm definitely got the Seve Ballesteros style of play. Scrambling every time. Oh dearie dear. So guys, sort of fast forward a little bit, rather than play the full course, sort of moving on to the 18th. The trickiest part of this course is the 17th and the 18th. Now this particular hole is tricky. It's all about trying to land on that sort of small strip after the water and whereabouts and how far you can go without getting in the rough, because if you get in the rough it just makes the hole tricky. You can see if you get in the rough you're going to be struggling to get anywhere. If you get somewhere just after the water in there, and you'll give yourself a good chance to even reach par. So let's give it a buzz, let's give it a try. Like I say, it's very tricky to know where to aim, which hole, which club to use. Let's give it a little try. I don't think I've covered myself in glory here. Yep, too far left. You see, really tricky. Will we try that again? So let's try again. It's all about getting that hit perfect. which I'm not particularly good at doing. That's a little bit better. See, hopefully we'll clear the water. Yep, we're just going to clear the water. There we go, that's a lot better. So roughly you'd want to be aiming getting somewhere there. And at least give us a chance. So we've still got a long way to get to the hole. I'll try the 1 wood, but it needs to be perfect probably to reach the green. I think best here we've got a sort of layoff and a pitch for hopefully getting a par. See, we're just a little bit short. It wasn't a perfect hit. At least we give us a chance to get a par at least. So we've got a fighting chance here. Can maybe pitch this in. Give myself a pitching birdie. Nope. That's possible. Doesn't happen very often, but it's possible. So we can at least get a par here, I think, to end the round. Yeah, we've got a par, so that's not too bad.
Okay.
So guys, thanks for watching the video today. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you again next time. Thanks for watching.